Today is Wednesday, August the 8th, 2018, and I decided to start a new channel called One Catholic Eddie. I've been Catholic ever since I was given my baptism, Staten Island, New York, St. Teresa's Church, the church where my parents was married. Yeah, it's Appalachian. So I'm reading this book called 1001 Great Reasons to be Catholic, or that you are Catholic. And I find one of the best places that I get my morning harmony is down here where the Appalachian Trail crosses the Conecuina Creek. And there's a lot of distractions down here, like people are speeding, and there's this awesome guardrail, but they come flying through here so fast that the guardrail's not really going to protect me. But the purpose of this is to notice something for One Catholic Eddie. The Catholic canon of the Bible is larger than the Protestant canon, containing the following additional books and chapters in the Old Testament: Tobit, Judah, Wisdom, Sirach, which is also a class of C's, Baruch, and 1 and 2 Maccabees. Extra fragments and chapters in Esther and Daniel, namely the last 7 chapters of Esther, the prayer of Azarias, and the canticle of the 3 children in the fiery furnace, the history of Susanna, the history of Bel, and the dragon. All this extra material was contained in the Gospel, in the Greek version of the Old Testament Gospel. And I'm speaking loudly so I can be heard over the vehicles. Everybody's going to work, that's great. And then 2000, and this is reason 222 of the Great Reasons to be Catholic. The extra books and chapters contained in the Catholic Old Testament are alluded to over 20 times in the New Testament. For example, Christ alluded to Sirach 27:6, which reads, "The fruit discloses the cultivation of a tree." So, you know, I thought about that and all these trees down here, and how this creek cultivates these trees and brought a lot of stuff up, which for the mud that was coming through here is now fertilizing these trees. So then, over here in John 10, verses 22 to 36, Christ and the disciples observed the key feast of the dedication, or Hanukkah, which celebrates events recorded only in 1 and 2 Maccabees. So I was wondering, how could it be that the Bible of the Protestants doesn't mention Hanukkah? And that's the Festival of Lights. You know, I mean, I have had a lot of experience with the fundies, and I tried that way of life, and I found so much hate towards Catholics. I'm like, well, that hate is towards the other. It wasn't just Catholics they hated. And so, you know, and the good thing about the fundies is they believe in Jesus Christ. That's about the only thing I can say. So I recently had a fundy Pentecostalist talking to me, and all he did was like attack the Virgin Mary. And I start thinking later on, I'm like, who attacks Jesus' mother? That's horrible. So getting back to this, the extra books of the Bible. Excuse me. So again, in John 10, 22 through 36, Christ and the disciples observed the key feast of the dedication, or Hanukkah, which celebrates events recorded only in 1 and 2 Maccabees. Likewise, St. Paul draws from Wisdom chapters 12 and 13. We read of women who received their dead by resurrection. Some were tortured, refusing to accept that they might rise again to a better life. This is the reference to the mother and her 7 martyred sons in 2 Maccabees, verse 7. So then I went a little further. And here's where, you know, I wouldn't sit down and talk to this person who attacked the Mother of God, because he's already got his decisions here. But it says here that reason 243, like St. Elizabeth in the Gospels, the Catholic Church recognizes Mary as the Mother of God, and this is why it is granted, and this is Luke 1, verses 42 to 43. And this is why it is granted me that the mother of my Lord should come to me. In fulfillment of Mary's own prophecies, Catholics belong to those generations who will call her blessed. Luke 1, verse 48. For behold, henceforth all generations will call me blessed. The Catholic Church recognizes Mary as the new Holy of the Holies. In the Old Testament times, the Holy of the Holies contained the presence of God who dwelt within it. The Virgin Mary is the new Holy of Holies in whom dwelt the divine presence of Christ. The Catholic Church recognizes Mary as the Ark of the New Covenant, carrying within her womb not simply material objects, like the tablets of the Ark, the Ten Commandments, but God-man himself, Jesus Christ, the mediator of the New Covenant. The Catholic Church recognizes Mary as the Mother of the Church, a title consistent with the words of John the Apostle. The dragon was angry with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God and her testimony. The Catholic Church recognizes Mary as mediatrix. Christ is the one mediator of redemption. Mary is universal and power mediator of prayer. So also the Catholic Church recognizes Mary as co-redemptrix, which means with the Redeemer. By giving her free consent, also called fiat, to the angel Gabriel, Mary cooperated with God's plan of redemption. This consent was not only free, but absolutely essential to supply Christ with the necessary human nature to become the son of Adam. Yeah, I don't know what it is, people, a loud truck, small brains, I say, but in speaking about the Virgin Mary, I got to be as Christian as I can, and I'm a Roman Catholic Christian. And so that's 7 minutes of my new YouTube channel that I'm going to call One Catholic Eddie, because I don't think that we are seen as being aggressive enough in our fight against the Protestant butchering of the Bible. Why would you take books out of the Bible? Okay? And if it's the inerrant word of Scripture, as they say, well then, that's only after you edit it. So you didn't take the original text as was handed down. And I believe in the Nicene Creed. And recently I've been going back to a new parish, and they changed the format with the latest catechism. And I was going to a church in Easton when that was brought in, and I have to remember the different versions and so the updates to the Mass. But everywhere I've ever been, I went to Mass and took communion as often as I can. So peace be with everybody, because I always say peace and love from One Bicycle Eddie and Jesus Christ.